This is something I didn't know I was going to be receiving as early as I received it, and I'm very happy about it. These are my brand new wheels for my Widebody Charger Daily. It's an all-wheel drive car, so I needed a square setup. These are made to look like the OEM Hellcat rims, but the offset is going to fit the Widebody perfect. The rear, I might need like a 1-inch spacer, but it's not going to be much. I got all-season tires for this thing. Let's throw these brand new monoblock forged wheels that look super sick onto the car itself. Ooh, today we got some new wheels. I'm so stoked to put these on the car. These are going to look so much better than the wheels that we had on the car. The old tires on this car were so worn, I started getting bald tires in the rear. That's how bad it is. Okay. So I know that we have a lot of space on the rear. Realistically, there's this little fender piece that's like comes down about to here, 1 inch. So if I do a 2-inch drop, the fender is gonna sit perfectly right over the rim. This one does need a little bit of a spacer, I believe, but the front is absolutely money, and it should not even rub is what I hear. So I'm really excited about this one. If you look at it, top down perfect. This one, once again, I'm probably going to do a 1 inch to 1.5 inch drop in the front, and it has a little fender piece that's going to come down to here. So we're looking pretty solid. Time to reverse the car, do the same thing, mount up our new wheels on the other side real quick. How do you guys like the new wheels? Still matches the OEM vibe, but just a custom offset version of it. So real quick, now that we got the wheels on the car, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the last fender that I'm missing, and we're going to throw it onto the car with some self-tappers, just so you get an idea of how the whole car and the aesthetic of it's going to look. Next thing we're going to do is front bumper and the front pieces. So I taped up where the last fender is going to be, making sure that the bumper line is absolutely perfect. As you can see, it perfectly lines up. I tacked it in. We're going to drill in some self-tappers for now. Again, we got to go back through. I'm going to put in riv nuts on the actual original panels. We're going to weld those riv nuts to the actual body, and then that way we can drill directly in, and then when we're fitting up the kit, we're going to mold this flush and have a perfect seam all the way around, because I wanted a molded body kit, and I wanted to be one piece instead of 2 different pieces. So that's the reason why we're going to go. We're going to quickly throw in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, and then we're going to continue on our way. Because my car is all-wheel drive, I had to go with specific ones. These are explicitly meant for the 5.7 liter all-wheel drive system. These are not meant to be run with either rear-wheel drive cars or the typical all-wheel drive one. These are meant for the 5.7 all-wheel drive cars, and they called even just to confirm to make sure that that was the correct car which I was ordering it for. I'm super excited to get these into the car. That is the rear, this is the front. Alright, let's get to it. I'm going to jack up the car and we're going to start working on it. It's rather a cold and kind of rainy day, so I hope it doesn't rain anymore. So we're going to start with the front springs, and I already know that the front's going to be significantly harder than the back, so let's knock them out first. First of all, I got to go grab a jack. We're going to jack it up, and then we're going to start actually pulling apart the suspension. I think I can keep most of the coilover together and pull out the spring, but we'll see how that ends up turning out in reality versus the concept in my head of how this is going to go. Okay, we've already gotten the wheel off at this point. This is kind of interesting suspension. There is this like wishbone going across the top, and then the forks of the bottom of the shock are very long. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to loosen up the bolt down here all the way across, see if I need to remove the tie rod or not, drop this down, and then just try to lift up the spring up and around while keeping this loose on the top. We're going to see if this works out how I want it to. If it does, I'll be very happy, but if not, we might have to take out the entirety of the shock, which I think is going to be a significantly bigger pain in my ass. We'll see what I can do. I'm going to loosen up the forks on the bottom of the suspension here in a second, but right now I'm going to undo the top bolts, and we'll see how much the spring will actually sit down once I loosen up the top. Then we can see what I got to undo on the bottom to actually get my spring compressors around the springs. 7/8. So far, we've undid the top 3 bolts that hold it in. This one. The center bolt to loosen up the top of the shock. The shock is loose, but to get this fork undone, you have to undo the back bolt and this front bolt. So now that we're going to undo this sway bar bolt, we should be able to get off every single part of it so we can slip the new coil onto the coilover. We just got the old one out. The way that it goes in and you twist it, and it has this little locking section. So you got to pull it out over that rubber piece. And then, look at the difference of the spring ratio, how it gets really taut at the top and then gets thinner at the bottom. This one's even all the way around, which the travel of this is going to be a very different feeling than these are going to be. These are going to drop the front 6.2 or 1.6 inches, and it's going to feel night and day better. That already looks better. So this just goes.
It also somewhat matches the purple vibe of the car.
Oh, it's going to match the purple vibe of the car. I didn't choose it because I care about it matching the purple vibe of the car, but it will match the purple vibe of the car. Okay, everybody.
Let's tighten up the top bit first.
The center nut?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think while we got it here, let's get going at it.
Which one was that? I almost think we're almost ready to hammer this bottom nut through.
I think we are.
So you have to loosen up the one that lets you twist the top of the spring to the bottom of the fork. I don't know why that's two different pieces. Most suspension, that's all one piece. I don't know if they just would get bent a lot. You don't want to have to replicate an entire spring system just for forks being bent on these police cars, but
It needs to go up slightly.
we're going to tap this in and see. Okay. This bolt was all the way through. And what was the name of this bolt, Griffin? You said it was something?
Clef? No.
Clevis something.
Oh, yeah.
Control arm bolt.
Clevis.
Clevis control arm bolt. Something like that.
Could Clevis lower control arm to strut?
Yeah. So this thing has like little teeth on it, and the way that it sits, the top of it got hammered in. It is very like malleable, and whenever it was hammering in, the threads of it got bent. So instead, what I did is I just cut off the dead threads, and look at it, brand new bolt, threads right back in, and you can see where it used to twist. We have plenty of room for where it should go in. So now this should go in, and we just saved ourselves a lot of money from Dodge for one bolt and nut, and B, I didn't have to drive 30 minutes to get the closest one. So win is a win, as the chat says. Hi YouTube. Say hi, guys. They get to see our actual camera. Probably $30 at a dealership. It's insane that a piece of... This is the top of the ball joint that we cracked earlier, but we did have to shave off that bolt. We put it back through. Everything's finally mounted up, so we're going to do one final tight down of all the bolts over here, and then we can put the other front, take it apart, and put in the new spring. So let's get to it. This is where the panel will line up. Just like this. Look at that fitment. This also has a fender piece.
Yeah, there's a fender piece that goes down.
This is about as low as a daily all-wheel drive Charger that will be driving in the snow can go. And if you look
it looks
at this,
better. Plus, it hasn't settled yet.
Two-finger, not settled.
It's still gonna lower more. It'll look great.
Come over here. So that side's a two-finger, right?
Yeah.
This side is a four-finger. So
Yep.
we're literally dropping it half of the distance that it is right now.
Yes.
Dude, this is gonna be money.
I guarantee you also, you give that a little bit, it goes lower. Not that you need it, but...
Ball joint has officially been loosened. We loosened the back of the strut tower. The top bolt in the center for the actual spring has been loosened, and this center bolt on the bottom. All we got to do now is drop the 3 bolts on the top. We should be able to swing this out and pull it all out in one motion. Shouldn't give us too much more hiccups from here on out. We compressed the spring on this side. It feels like the spring is more compressed over here than it was the other side. The other side, it kind of just came off. That's tight, isn't it?
I'm recording.
I don't know if you want to be. This Charger coilover has been nothing but difficult. It's not the fault of the actual coils I'm going with, which I am running an H&R coil. These coils for the rear, I'm just going to undo the one bolt down there. It does spring down, so I'd have a spring compressor, which we do have over there. I'm choosing not to use it on this one because the springs were rather old and it didn't actually extend that much, but just for your own safety. In the future, just undo that one bolt. I'm gonna now jack it with a scissor jack back up into place and then bolt in the bottom of this control arm and the strut, and we should be good to go. If you guys have done your springs on your own cars, you guys would know on the Charger it is astronomically hard. You have to, with a wrench, while prying the lower control arm support bar, you have to like pry, twist and hammer and screw all at the same time. I was using my leg. Someone in chat named Neptune, I'm live streaming this whole thing, and I appreciated Neptune hopping into my chat and guiding me through it. I would have not been able to do it without him, genuinely. So I appreciate it. But this time we're going to do it on the other side, and then we're going to take this thing for a ride, which I'm super excited about, because this thing is going to feel night and day better. So with a 19, I am using a 19 ratchet. I'm holding onto the top of the actual strut. And now all I'm doing is I am tightening this just like this to make sure that the spring is fully taut. You need to be able to hold the top of it and do this at the same time. So this is the only way to get it done. So finishing tightening this, and we're gonna go take this for a test drive and see how it feels, how it drives. Do I rub with the new wheels? We'll get all of the reactions here in a second. I sing it to the crowd, what you fucked up. I ain't even like he got a problem, he get touched up.